Hi, in this part we're going to be doing some sewer searching.
That doesn't sound nearly as much fun.
2 a.m.
So Slash, I actually do not recognize that one. What's he from?
He's from the old series.
Like the comics?
I know. Well, he's in the Turtles in Time at least.
Yeah, that's our only point of reference. You know what? Admittedly, I have to go back and look about Slash's origin myself, because when I think Slash, I immediately think of Turtles in Time. I do not know the original context, but I'm pretty sure he was. Probably
If he was around, if he was in Turtles in Time, I'm pretty sure he was at least in the comics or somewhere in the
or
show.
a creation of the '80s cartoon.
Yeah.
Well, then again,
Which I'm willing to bet is the latter.
Well, then again, Turtles in Time also had both Bebop and Rocksteady and the shameless rip-offs from Turtles 2, so, you know, there's that. Damn, Turtles 2 sucks. Okay, so...
What do you mean you don't like Toka or Razor?
They suck. They're lame. They are just incredible.
Babies! They're babies!
If you're gonna make two random, you know, mindless mooks that are just there for the turtles to beat up, why not make them at least the same names and look exactly like the ones from the comic? I mean, I'm not really a big fan of Bebop and Rocksteady either, but at least they existed first, I guess. It's kind of like making, like, I don't know, Wario and then making another Mario alter ego character for no good reason, I guess.
You mean Booster?
Sure, whatever.
Here's my question about all these fictional settings where the sewers are like this network for criminals and evil ninjas and whatever other bad things are going on. Why do the police forces never send patrols down into the sewers if this is such an obvious thing?
It smells like poo gas.
Are you gonna go down to the sewers? Okay, it's probably a health risk. Like, I don't think you can legally send people down into the sewers without, like, hazmat suits and not, because, like, probably even breathing in the wrong air down there could get you sick.
Okay. You know what happens when you do send police and whatnot into that kind of area? Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, I was about to say.
No, but, like, okay, if you're going to acknowledge that criminals can use the sewers as a frickin' underground railroad for their crime shit, then the same story has to acknowledge that the police can survive down there just as well.
Yeah, but they're not trained in the art of ninjutsu.
Hey, criminals don't give a shit if their employees get, like, I don't know, syphilis down here. Also, that water should not be see-through, just for the record. I'm tired of these video games glorifying sewers. Like, if you're gonna have a sewer level, it better be brown and have shit in that water. Because that's what sewers are for, moving our shitty water.
The thing is that we can certainly see what the sewers are, but we don't smell what they smell.
Well, the turtles also don't really have noses, so they're okay.
So rule number 1, send Krillin down there.
Yeah, I love that that's actually a plot point, is that he can beat the smelly guy in the tournament because he doesn't have a nose. Also, UFOs, what?
He actually has to be reminded that he doesn't have a nose. That's the kind of humor the original Dragon Ball had. That
by Goku of all people. Like, you know, when you have to be reminded of something like Goku, you really fucked up.
Why didn't you use your key ends, huh?
Mike, you know, if that was just a canister of gasoline, throwing a shuriken at it should have just spilt the shit all over the place. Like, I know
Not to mention, we're in sewers. I'm pretty sure this place is filled to the brim with methane gas.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We require more Vespine gas.
Yeah, but you need a spark in order to make an explosion.
That's not a spark.
Well, actually, to be fair, if a spark is all we're looking for, a metal shuriken hitting a metal canister would cause a spark. A spark, like a single solitary spark. It probably wouldn't crack the canister open enough for that spark to ignite anything, but it would cause a spark.
What was inside that soda? Cocaine?
Not since the 1920s, John.
I did a research paper on that, actually.
Man, These sewers are more labyrinthine than the ones underneath Empire City. And
How
those
many-
sewers were ridiculous.
How many layers does it even really need? Like really,
Yeah.
do sewers have multiple?
See, that's the thing of it, Ted. Since nobody wants to go in them, we don't know.
One of my favorite.
Who built these anyway?
One of my favorite sewer fun facts is that the city of Chicago didn't have a sewer system originally, like most cities.
Yeah, they just raised the cities like 10 feet.
Yeah, so they literally put the city on stilts to put a sewer system under there.
God.
But dude, think about it.
It's what they did.
It's worth not having people throwing their shit literally into the streets.
It was also a matter of it's literally right next to like the ground's not exactly the most solid.
Yeah.
Was it uneven territory?
Yeah.
Oh, I cannot imagine a city without a sewer line. That's disgusting.
Yeah. Now just imagine. Nobody had sewer lines at one point in time. They just
Yeah.
dumped their crap out the window.
It's called the Dark Ages. We've moved past that time.
Now it's not even just the Dark Ages. Up until like the Industrial Revolution, people were throwing their shit out the windows.
Yeah, but you want to know something that pisses me off about fantasy fiction these days? Like, the first thing, like
No one shits.
the first thing that people reach for when they want to make their fantasy story seem dark and edgy is the piss-stinking alleys. They always have to describe that somewhere in the story. It has to be mentioned. It's mandatory.
Did we fulfill our urine quota?
Oh, he must be a king. How can you tell? He's got shit all over him.
You know, if I ever write a high fantasy setting, something I'm going to go out of my way to mention is that they get rid of their poop with magic. And just because
No one shits.
I mean,
the first phrase or just sentence in your book sheet, nobody shits.
no, people shits. It's just it gets magically teleported to the shit dimension. You know.
Teleportation,
Nah,
yeah.
they use their they use their Harry Potter scouring spells.
Shito no moro.
No, like it's in the later books when they get to advanced classes that they mention this, but there are actually like cleaning spells. Like what's her name? Tonks. She tries to clean out the owl cage and screws up the spell, so she only gets rid of part of the bird crap.
Is a bottle of 409 really that hard to come by in Hogwarts?
Yeah, but
No, it's fantastical. Have to use magic.
yeah, that's they bring that up in some of the books. Like they do things
They're so-
deliberately harder because magic.
Yeah, they're so used to magic that they just straight up don't know a lot of what Muggles use to handle stuff, and as a result, a lot of their magical solutions are ironically more complicated than just doing things the normal way.
Yeah, like I remember, like I think it's Ron's dad, like collects batteries or something like that because they're
Oh
normal
yeah,
and
because
cool.
he's Muggle obsessed, but he has no idea what half the stuff he collects even
Oh,
does.
so he's a weeaboo, the Muggle version of a weeaboo. Muggle-boo?
Yeah. Like he doesn't know what a rubber duck is. He actually unironically asks what is the function of a rubber duck in the second movie.
Well, I don't think a rubber duck really has a function. It's just kind of
That's
there.
the joke. That's the joke.
Donnie, I got it. I love that. Like Donnie's going, "Don't worry, guys, I got it," and then Mikey's just like throwing ninja stars at him.
Don't worry, Mikey. You'll be a helicopter yet.
Hey, if he was Tails, that would be enough to fly. Also, I love how the nunchucks only have 3 frames of animations. Like there are only 3 spots that the other nunchuck will be.
No.
What
You see, what you can't tell because your human eyes are too primitive to see this is that this character is so awesome it actually makes the console run at 120 frames per second.
Oh wow.
But it fucks with your eyes so much that it just looks like 3.
I don't think I have yet to see a game that runs at 120.
If
Even though
you
I
have-
know it's a
Well,
possibility.
there
On
are
a
a lot of
console
games
or
that
on a-
there are a lot of games that will lock themselves at 60, whether they can go above that or not, simply because it leads to a more consistent frame rate, even
Yeah.
on better hardware.
Yeah, like I think there are
Also,
some games where theoretically it could run at 120, but it'll dip down below that to somewhere
There's-
in between 120 and 60.
There's
So it'll stay
another
at 60 to
thing,
seem
though.
more consistent.
There's another thing though. Even if your game is running above 60, you might not necessarily see it at all. Even if you're, even if you got, good enough eyesight to tell, because your monitor might not have a high enough refresh rate.
Your monitor may have a refresh rate, and yeah, exactly that. Your eyes can only process so many images at once.
Yeah.
Well, some
At this
people,
point, it's just kind of bragging rights.
some people will swear that they can visually tell the difference. I
Well,
can't.
then they're mutants,
But-
and they need to put their powers to good use.
Enjoying Xavier's School for the Gifted.
Damn right. What's your power? I can see 120 frames per second. Oh my god. Make him class president.
But
Oh,
yeah,
They knew the number one was here.
the typical the typical monitor I think refreshes at 60 frames per second. So
Yeah.
So you'd probably have to buy. The only people who probably buy monitors with higher refresh rates are PC people who want to really
PC Master Race.
Yeah, those
yeah.
kind of people.
Although to be fair, even if you can't see the higher frame rate, it might actually make your reaction time slightly more precise. So
Yeah, because the game
Well,
would be
yeah.
inputting buttons at 120, even if the
Yeah,
screen
that's
was
the
only-
major difference between something running at 30 or 60 is the amount of time you can rebutton inputs.
Which is
Yeah.
why it's so important in fighting games to have a consistent frame rate.
Yeah.
yeah.
Or speedrunning.
Yeah.
You don't want lag because that eats inputs. But we're talking about like Mikey's 3-frame nunchuck animation earlier, and you think this could be the video quality, but no, this game is locked at 30.
It
Yeah.
is?
Yeah.
Yep.
What version are you playing? Ron?
PS4.
PS4. I have it on Steam, and it's still 30.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that actually reminds me. There's a Steam curator called, I think it's called the Frame Rate Police, that specifically lists games on Steam that are locked at 30.
Well, a lot of games, it's like a lot of PC ports of console games get their frame rates locked. Like I remember the big deal one was Batman Arkham City last year. People were really up in arms about
Arkham
it.
Knight.
Knight?
Arkham Knight.
Arkham Knight. Sorry, my bad.
The reason for that is that console to PC ports tend to have more demanding specs than they should for their graphical level.
Is it
Better, it just wasn't it was properly optimized, which is pretty much Arkham Knight in a nutshell.
Yeah, I think it's like the game. They instead of building it, like changing the code so that it's a PC game, they kind of just make it a console PC game or something. I don't remember. I'm not a tech person.
Okay, you can develop a game for the PC and then port it to consoles, which is really easy to do. But a lot of developers, because they're focused on the console market, thinking they'll sell more copies that way, it's more mainstream. They'll develop for a console first, and then they'll port to the other platforms. The result of that is usually that every
you never died.
No. The result of that is usually that every platform other than the one they developed for first has some kind of deficiency. Because it's easier to optimize for multiple consoles if you develop for the PC first. Barring
And
stuff
if the
like
architecture's similar.
barring stuff like the PlayStation 3, which just had a weird architecture to it.
Yeah,
but
that had like the dual core thing that was strange, or was it more than 2 cores? I don't remember.
I don't really remember. I just know that it was different from PCs of the time and different from the 360.
Yeah.
So, developers who actually developed for the PS3 first did some pretty good shit. But most
When they knew what they
everyone-
were doing and how the PS3 worked. It was
Yeah.
it's really no different than the Saturn. If the developer knew how to work the Saturn's like 4 fucking different processors, then you could make something like a
But-
thing of beauty.
But like most of the time, you just get a slightly inferior port on the PS3. But then you'd also get cases like Bethesda. Bethesda could not port to the PS3 for shit. Like they really could not. The Skyrim has the most abominable memory leak problems on that system. I just dropped the PS3 version of Skyrim because I'd killed too many people and played too long in a single session. The game froze right before I was going to save after defeating a dragon.
What the
That-
hell was Mikey
has
doing
a,
there?
Just about to say, it's a bubble
jump
power
trick.
up. It's like it's a bubble power up. You bounce on the floor. The game did not just shit itself. It's a power up.
So it's like the bubble shield in Sonic.
I guess,
Kind
but it's
of.
way slower.
And it looks inherently sillier.
It
Aw,
looks
man.
broken.
On that note, I can't wait to get my hands on the elemental shields again in Sonic Mania.
In time.
Hey, Shadow the Hedgehog had the fire shield.
No, it
That's-
didn't.
Yes, it did. I'm not
No.
shitting you. Shadow the Hedgehog
Yeah,
has the fire shield.
He's not wrong. It's just that it's fire shield in effect, like looks only. It doesn't like.
It doesn't do what the fire shield did. It's not the fire shield. It's
Yeah,
a,
it does.
it's
It
a
did.
fire
It-
shield.
Fire shield.
It's a fire shield wannabe. It's a candle shield. But like, because Game Explain posted their 10 minutes of Sonic Mania off-cam gameplay, and this one guy just blundered into all three of the elemental shields, one after the other in Studiopolis Zone. So I got to see all three of them, and it's like, oh my god, they're back for real this time. It's an electric shield that does more than just pulling in rings. It's actually the electric shield.
Did you forget Generations?
I love. Okay, here's the thing. I love the adventure games, but one thing that was really annoying about having the thunder shields in the adventure games is when it would pull in the rings to you too early, so you couldn't like speed
Like
dash.
dash.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's actually gotten me killed in Crazy Gadget, I think, where I had
Yeah.
Lost World and Adventure 1. It killed me.
Yeah. Oh man, I can't believe it took them until Unleashed to think, hey, maybe we should put invisible ring trails where the lightspeed dash paths are, so that if the rings are
technically,
gone.
Shadow the Hedgehog did that first.
Oh, Shadow did that first. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
forgot that.
Shadow would
Well,
have
still,
been an
it took-
amazing game if it wasn't so shit.
It took them far too many games, and you know what? Sonic 06 took that out. So
What the hell did you just put on the ground?
Plasma mine.
Oh,
Yeah.
what does it do?
it explodes with plasma. It's a mine. What do you think?
Alright, basically, if you get enough kind of a combo of these green things, they'll give you an item, but you can only carry 4 items, so I'm getting rid of the stuff I wasn't going to use.
Oh, okay. So you're not expecting to blow anyone up, you're just dumping shit. Okay.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't need it. I need some more cocaine cola.
I think I'll shorten it to Coke.
Now I'm
That's
thinking.
really an idea, Mikey.
Now I'm having flashbacks to my first playthrough of Oblivion, where I would pick up every single item that I could get my hands on, but I was always full up, so I was constantly dropping random crap at random locations.
These
So they're
sewers
just-
have gone down so many levels that we should be in the Earth's goddamn molten core by this point.
Tick tock, tick tock. It's Killer Croc.
No, it looks like a turtle.
Killer
Wow.
tortoise?
It looks like Killer Croc.
Tortoise.
It looks like Killer Croc from the Arkham games with a
If
shell.
A little bit.
If I
Wait,
remember,
it's Bowser.
it is Bowser. Holy shit!
Slash is absolutely goodness.
This is what the live-action Mario movie should have had for Bowser.
It would
He just
have
becomes
Okay.
Slash.
Well, it would have looked cooler, honestly. Like something like obviously like he needs the fire, but like the shell I think would look awesome like that if they were doing a live action Mario movie.
No, like, just give it a bit more color to make it look like Bowser, and it would be the Sonic 06 version of Bowser that tries to look realistic and somehow winds up being just boring.
Well, I think like if they had him like upgrade to if they were gonna do a live action Bowser and they wanted to make him threatening looking, I think something like this could work feasibly.
We already have
Oh.
a threat Bowser. It's called
Yeah.
Giga Bowser.
Yeah, I was about to say this kind of looks like a slightly more realistic Giga Bowser.
Like honestly, I don't like Giga Bowser just on the fact that it wouldn't mesh with anything else Mario tries to do at all. Like and
No, but
yeah.
I think that's what just adds to its menace.
Yeah.
You know, because first time I unlocked Giga Bowser in Melee, especially compared to Melee's Giga Bowser to Brawl's Giga Bowser, because in Melee's Giga Bowser's eyes are like beady as shit, and they like pierce your soul.
Yeah. Hey,
Aren't
there's a reason Giga Bowser hasn't shown up in any actual Mario game. It's just a Smash thing. Like
well,
Metal
no,
Mario,
it
the
doesn't.
character.
The reason why Giga Bowser doesn't show up in any Mario thing is because Miyamoto didn't think it up. That's why. Like,
What a lovely idea that I didn't think of.
which is honestly the same reason why I think we'll never see Wario and Waluigi in a main series Mario game, because they weren't, Miyamoto didn't make them, and he doesn't like using things that he didn't make. Which, I mean, I suppose makes sense, but it also, in a series with that many characters,
It's
you're
incredibly petty.
it's petty, and you're limiting yourself. You're limiting yourself and your possibilities. by
It's
doing
petty
that.
because basically every other video game designer who has done anything in a long-running franchise has implemented ideas by the other developers who have worked on the same franchise. So, yeah.
That boss actually went down a lot quicker than both Bebop and Rocksteady.
And it's
He's real old because he's really big and really slow.
And there's 4 of you.
Yeah. I mean, Rocksteady was, charging around at a surprisingly threatening pace. Like, he wasn't Bane from Arkham Asylum. He was actually pretty difficult to get out of the way of. He attacked quickly and aggressively. This was just a lumbering oaf.
So
You
what
gotta
are these things that you get do exactly, like the scrolls and the charms and stuff? Are they like
They're just
equipment?
they're just things they're just equipment you can put on the turtle before a mission. It'll give you like 5% attack increase or
Oh, okay.
things like that.
You gotta love it when a game that's too mediocre for you to want to replay has a ranking system, as if it expects you to replay it.
Oh man, yeah, I'm totally super psyched to get all A ranks in Shadow the Hedgehog. Like, that's my dream, man. Like, unlocking expert mode, that's my shit. I can't wait to play Lost Impact over and over until I kill all 40 artificial chaos fast enough. Man. Yeah.
So, how about it, big guy? You know what those foot dweebs were doing?
So, is this guy just not evil, but...
Slash.
Yeah. Is he just kind of there?
Misguided, I would say, is one way of putting it.
Dude, blasters.
Well, in this universe, anyway, I would say.
Space guns?
Oh. I smell Triceratons. Or
No.
whatever they were called.
Not in
No.
this game.
Oh. Now I'm
Just
sad.
Neutrons. Just Neutrons.
The
Now-
Triceratons were fun. I liked the Triceratons.
Now, if the turtles can fit their giant hands into there, I'd suggest that they use those instead of their shurikens from now on.
The turtles, not cowboys.
They can be cowboy turtles.
I think the
Teenage
turtles-
Ninjas,
Mutant
not-
Cowboy turtles.
I think the turtles may have actually made use of the laser guns during the Triceratops section of the comics.